Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. Firstly, thank you so much for pouring in so much love and appreciation for my first video. I was truly overwhelmed and I am so grateful and thankful to each one of you. It's been truly motivating and I am so happy and thrilled to do more videos and continue this journey with you guys. So today's video is going to be about my travel experience during the pandemic. And a travel experience with an infant. The reason I'm making this video is because when I was making this decision to travel, I really wasn't sure if it's really the right time. Where can I find the repatriation flight bookings? What are the details required, and is it even safe? Can I even carry an infant with me? So I had so many questions and I really didn't know whom to reach out to, and it is a time of uncertainty, and you really don't know what people are doing and what you really think is right to do. So I think just sharing this experience will let you all know, or even somebody who's trying to make a decision to travel somewhere, it may just help you all. So just to give you guys a little bit of background, we just had a baby in December 2019. Now congratulations to us. And my parents were here to help us out during that time, and they were supposed to be traveling back in the month of March, and baby and I were also traveling along with them. And my husband was supposed to join us back in India in May. And we were all supposed to come back in June. So that was the plan, but obviously the pandemic hit us and we were not able to follow the plan. So we really wanted me and baby to come back as soon as possible, and we're really trying hard and finding information and seeing if it's even safe, if it's really okay. But then we were looking around everywhere for months together. We started in the month of May. The government was saying that the borders were supposed to be opening in April, and then they moved it to May, and then they moved it to June, and then it was just not ending. We were not sure if I want to take the repatriation flight because it was only Air India that was flying people in and out. And my experience with Air India when I was traveling to India was not that great. So, and me traveling alone with baby, I really didn't want to take that chance. And also the journey from India to Netherlands is not a short one. It's about 10 hours together just in the flight. So as I was searching and finding out information, I came across this app called the Telegram. I will link it down below in case you want to have a look. You just download the app, and there are people across India who are wanting to go back to the specific country. Majorly it is for people who are going to travel to US, but also it was helping other people also get a track of what the kind of flights that are available for people to go back to their specific countries. So I came across this app and I downloaded it and I was looking at it, and the first the people were so helpful and they were so really willing to give the information, even if it wasn't for them who are traveling. They were just so super helpful. So, and also at the time, and the way I got to know about this app was I was watching a YouTuber's video, and her name is Shahaja Madhuri, and she was the one who was traveling to from India to the US with one toddler and one infant alone. And when I watched that, I really was inspired and it gave me courage to go back and travel, right? So I installed that app and I was able to make a decision that yes, so many people are traveling, I can travel as well. And the only document that was required for me to show at the immigration was my resident permit. If you had a long-term resident permit, or if you have a PR, you are eligible to travel, or you were eligible to travel at that point. And I had a resident permit for about 5 years, so I was eligible and I could travel, and I was and the minute I got to know that information, I was really happy, but I was also super nervous that how are we going to make this journey, because it was going to be a super long one and it is my first journey with baby. But nevertheless, we took the courage. The app, which is the Telegram, a lot of people were helping me with, this flight is available, book on the KLM website, do not go to third-party sites, just book the flight with the airline. And the Dutch government had already planned for flights that would take people who are stuck anywhere else and get them back to the Netherlands. The Netherlands borders were never shut, they were always open. It was only the Indian border. So when I got to know the KLM Flight, which is the Dutch royal flight, was available, I saw the available flights on the website, and they were putting in only flights that were repatriation flights. So the minute I saw the available flight on the website, I went back to the government website and double checked if the dates that the government had put in were matching with the dates of flight travel on the website, which did. And the next step that I did was I called the customer care instead of just directly going and booking. So we were sitting on 22nd of July, we had booked my tickets, and I was traveling back on the 29th. Now, we did not have flights from any small cities, and all the domestic flights were getting cancelled or either rescheduled, so I could not take the risk of flying. I was in Mangalore at the point, so I could not take the risk of flying from Mangalore to any major city, which is Bangalore, Mumbai or Delhi. So what we did was I booked the ticket from Bangalore International Airport, and we were blessed to get a direct flight, which is very rare, and it was a flight that was super non-crowded, and also it was for a very, very reasonable cost. So it wasn't way too expensive. I was hearing news from people that there are flights and there are repatriation flights, but at a double cost. So I was also apprehensive about that, but we got a really reasonable rate, and it was very convenient. So what we did was we drove down from Mangalore to Bangalore. My brother-in-law drove us from Mangalore to Bangalore, and he's from Bangalore, so we stayed with his family. I did not do like I reached Bangalore and travel immediately. I took a day's break. I traveled one day prior, so we drove down on the 27th, 28th we rested, and 29th early morning, that is 7 in the morning, was my flight back. The first thing that you do if you're traveling alone, please get a bassinet seat for your infant, so that while she's sleeping you can keep her rested and you don't really have to keep her on a seat or on your lap in the entire journey. So please request for a bassinet seat, which will be really helpful for you. And secondly, if you are traveling alone and you have bags or handbags that you are willing to carry, try to get a porter, the airport porters that are available. They will help you. There are two options available. One is you can either take only from the gate that you enter, you finish your entry where you show your passport and you enter the airport, from there till your check-in of baggages, or there's a second option where you can take from the door till your gate, till your airport gate, till your flight gate, right? So I chose the latter, and I was allowed to also take my baby stroller up until the flight. They took the baby stroller in the flight and they kept it aside. Until then I was able to take it, so that was really helpful, and it was really convenient for me. But honestly, to tell you, it was really not required for me to take the porter service till the gate. But in that, as a first timer, I went ahead and chose that option, but it was really not required. Maybe only until the check-in. If you don't really have a lot of handbags and you're allowed to take the stroller, please don't go ahead with that gate. It was convenient. I could just focus on baby because the porter was carrying everything else. I did not have to think about anything. I just had the passport and the boarding passes in my hand and the baby with me, and nothing else. Everything else was taken care by him. So that was one thing that was, keeping me calm and relaxed, because I had a lot to do with a 10-hour flight. So I wanted to keep myself really calm so that I don't lose my patience or get overly tired in the flight. The only one downside to this was when I was on a call with the customer care, they told me to be 5 hours prior to my departure time, which was totally not necessary. Usually it is 3 hours, but because it was a very uncertain period, so they asked me to go 5 hours prior, which was absolutely not necessary because the airport authorities did not let me in the airport unless it was 3 hours prior to my flight. They were not letting people in because they didn't want the airport to be crowded, which made sense. So I had to wait outside the airport for about an hour and a half. But if they ask you to do that, please do not go 5 hours early. 3 hours are more than enough, because even after they let me in 3 hours prior, at the gate I had another 1 hour to wait. So because it's not so crowded and everything is done so quickly and fast, you finish all your procedures in an hour's time maximum. Also, the airline does not allow you to carry your own mask. You have to have a mask all the time in the airport, your own mask. But when you enter the flight, they will do a temperature check. It's a thermal temperature check. You do not have to do any coronavirus test or anything of that sort. You just have to do a thermal test at the gate when you enter the airport, and second is when you enter the flight. And when you enter the flight, the airline itself, different airlines have different rules, but in KLM they gave us a mask of their own and a shield. So they gave these two, and you have to be wearing the mask all throughout the flight. It was a 10-hour journey in the flight, and I had to wear the mask throughout. So yeah, and just to keep Kiara engaged in the entire flight, I had carried some toys along with me, which were her favorites. I also had the screen that was popping up, so I did allow her to watch something for some time. She was getting really extremely fussy, but that's about it. She was almost calm. She was taking her naps in her time. I was able to use the restroom. They were pretty clean because it was not a very crowded flight. So yeah, and eventually we reached Netherlands, and it was a long journey. It was I was really nervous and scared about it, but eventually it turned out to be a good one, and it was a pleasant experience. It wasn't anything that I had expected, like it's going to be really this or that. It was pretty simple. It was just that we were traveling in these circumstances, but nothing apart from that. Thank you so much for watching. If I've been of any help, and if you have any questions, please comment down below. I am happy to answer any questions, and let me know if you have any thoughts about this. And see you until next time. Bye bye. And do not forget to like, share and subscribe. Thank you.